Hello everyone, it's Jordan Talks here and I'm back on another video. This one's going to be a bit different this week. I looked at the slate of games and there wasn't that many inspiring matchups, so I thought I'd do something a bit different. Before we do get into the video, if you do enjoy this video, if you can leave a like, that would be great. And also if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be much appreciated. So in this video, I'm going to touch on a few things at the halfway point. Like the best teams in the AFC, NFC. At the end, I'm going to give a bold playoff prediction and those sorts of things. So let's get into this. Start off with the best two teams in the AFC, I feel like, at this point. So the two teams are, well, number one, I'm going to put the Chiefs in there. Assuming Patrick Mahomes comes back at full health, I think this team, the way this defense are playing at the moment, I mean, the defense is stepping up a little bit. If they can play at this level when he's back, not many teams are going to be able to hang with him. I know they give up quite a few points, but they're looking a bit more feisty. So I feel like this team, with Patrick Mahomes back, I feel like they're probably the best team in the AFC. Not the Patriots. And a lot of you may be surprised that I'm picking second in the AFC at the moment, and that is the Indianapolis Colts. I'm not picking the Patriots to be in the top two at this point because I'm watching them. It's more of the eye test. I know historically their defense is great, but I'm watching them against teams who aren't great and they're not blowing me away. To be blown away, you've got to beat good teams, haven't you? So it's not their fault the schedule's worked out this way. But I'm not blown away by the Patriots at the moment. I put them in third in the AFC. But I've got the Colts in second, and I feel like this team's got everything that you need to make a playoff run. They got great talent all over the place. Just before recording this video, I did see that T.Y. Hilton's out for 2 to 3 weeks, I believe, with a little injury. So that's going to be a bit tough for them to deal with. But assuming it doesn't affect them too much, this team are very good in my opinion, and I'd actually have them above the Patriots, just on the eye test. So the best two teams in the AFC at the halfway point, I've got the Chiefs and the Colts. And this isn't what I've seen so far, this is also projecting forward a little bit. So the NFC, number one has to be the 49ers. There's no way about it. This team, the way they're playing, they got playmakers all over the place. I know they only beat the Cardinals by, I think, was it 3 last night? But having watched that game, it seemed like they were in control of it most of the way. Had a bit of a shaky start, but that was the game where Jimmy Garoppolo actually won them the game, I think. He made some very big throws in that game. And he looked like he doesn't need to be the one that wins in the game, but if they need him to win the game, he can do it. And that's always a great problem to have as a head coach, where you don't need your quarterback to win every game for you, but if you do need him to pop up, he's more than capable. I mean, he made some very nice throws last night. I know the Cardinals aren't a great defense, but he made some very tight window throws, and he looked very good. And they're 8-0 now. Will this team go 16-0? Who knows? Let's find out. Let's wait and see. And the second team I'm going to pick from the NFC is the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go in a bit more detail about the Green Bay Packers in a couple of moments when I talk about another topic. My next thing I'm going to give is the award for the worst team at the halfway point, and to me it is the Cincinnati Bengals. This team are woeful. I know they've got, some people may say Washington, Miami, whatever. The fact the Bengals actually have some talent on that football team, and they're still bad, just sums up that franchise, to be honest. I mentioned it, I think, in my previous video, the one before. They've just gone so stale since they had that one good season. I think, was it 4 years ago now? And it's just gone real stale there. I mean, they've benched Andy Dalton now. I mean, he'll be probably a starter somewhere next season for a rubbish team, or a backup at least. And yeah, they should be tanking, but they haven't been. And they're still as bad as some teams that are tanking. Work it out for yourself. They are terrible. and the coach has got a lot on. Your first job, and you're in that sort of position. I mean, you need to be going to get a top 3 pick a quarterback that you like, because you're supposed to be this great offensive mind, and then we can judge him on the next 2 seasons after this one. I just don't think, I don't know if he doesn't trust Andy Dalton, or Andy Dalton just isn't capable of running this sort of offense. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the Bengals are just woeful. I mean, this is probably going to be the last time I speak about them this season. Until I do a preview of the Browns versus the Bengals. But yeah, for a team that aren't tanking, they are worse than teams that are tanking. Mad. So my next bit here is most surprising team of the season, and this goes back to my best 2 teams in the NFC, and I'm going to talk about the Green Bay Packers here. I'm very surprised on how well they're playing. I don't think anyone could have projected the way this defense would have come in this year. Aaron Rodgers with a first-year head coach. I mean, they seem to be getting off. Their relationship seems to be getting off to a bit of a shaky start at the start of the season, but they seem to be singing on the same hymn sheet now, and they've got things rolling. Aaron Rodgers makes incredible throws. I mean, some of those throws he made against the Chiefs last week was, well, earlier on in the week, was it Monday, or was it? Can't remember. Everything's a blur now. When they played the Chiefs, I mean, he made some incredible throws in that game. And Aaron Rodgers is a very legitimate MVP candidate. And not many people are talking about this team. This team's, when you got Aaron Rodgers playing like this and you've got a defense to back him up, I mean, they can make a lot of noise this season. They can go very far. And yeah, I'm very surprised on how well this Green Bay team's playing. And yeah, very impressed with them so far. 7-1, are they? I believe so, yeah. So next up is my most disappointing team, and whilst the Green Bay Packers are 7-1, this team are 1-7, and that's the Atlanta Falcons. Oh my goodness. A lot of people were picking this team to make a playoff run this year. I mean, I even picked them to win their division, and wow, I was made to look stupid. I mean, I still had a bit of hope after the first few games, but nah, they terrible. Very uninspired team, and they've just gone off the rails since Kyle Shanahan left and after that Super Bowl loss. I mean, things could have been so different for this team if they would have won the Super Bowl. I know Kyle Shanahan was already gone before the Super Bowl, already agreed his deal, but yeah, I mean, this just doesn't look like an inspired football team. I know they made the scoreline look respectable against the Seahawks, but they were never in that game last weekend. And yeah, the Atlanta Falcons absolutely suck. And I mean, they've still got some very tough games to come. And this team is going to be lucky to win 3 games. And for a team that had playoff aspirations at the start of the season, I mean, wow, what can you say really? I'm very disappointed in this team this year. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if Julio Jones is requesting a trade in the summer. Book it. Trust me. So yeah, that's my most disappointing team this year, the Atlanta Falcons. So next up, I'm going to talk about teams that are in the playoffs at the moment, as it stands, but I wouldn't be scared of if I faced them in the playoffs. And in the AFC, I mean, the team which probably stands out to everyone here is the Buffalo Bills. I do like them as a football team, but I still think Josh Allen's still working a few things out. I mean, he's only a second-year quarterback. You can't expect him to know everything straight away. And he's quite raw as well. He's not a ready-made quarterback as such. But I think with this defense and their coach, I think this team can be a force in the foreseeable future in the AFC. And I know Brady's talking about retirement. When isn't he? But when isn't he talking about retirement? But the day that Tom Brady doesn't play for the Patriots anymore, I can see the Bills running that division for years to come. Especially if Josh Allen figures things out, because yeah, he's a great athlete and he can go a long way. But if I did face them in the playoffs this year, I wouldn't be scared of them, even though their defense is very good. And in the NFC, the team I wouldn't be scared of as it stands would have to be the Seahawks. I feel like I'm a bit of a hater on the Seahawks, but I just don't feel inspired when I'm watching them play football. I'm watching them. I mean, it just seems that Russell Wilson. It's not prayers that he throws up, but I don't know. He always seems to have to. He has to bail them out to win a game, or a long third down conversion. And I just don't know if those things are sustainable come playoff time. So out of all the teams that currently stand in the playoffs in the NFC, I wouldn't be scared of the Seahawks at all. I would actually be wanting to face that team. And yeah, so that's the two teams I wouldn't be scared of if it comes to the playoffs tomorrow. So now I'm going to make a bold playoff prediction. This is someone who isn't currently in the playoffs, and I feel like can make a run to come to towards the end of the season to get into the playoffs. And in the AFC, this is one of the most surprising teams to me as well. They're lucky not to get onto that bit, but this is the Oakland Raiders, and the Raiders are a good football team. Playing against the Texans, that was a very good game from both teams, and I was actually quite impressed with the way they played. I mean, John Gruden has got a lot of stick over the last couple of years. Obviously, he signed a massive contract, and you expect to win 10, 11 games straight away, but he's got those guys playing good football right now, and it would not surprise me if they make the playoffs. And I looked at their schedule, and I wouldn't be surprised if they got to 10 wins. And in the AFC last year, that got you to the playoffs. So I'm going to pick the Raiders to make the playoffs this year. And in the NFC, there's not many teams on the fringe, so it's kind of hard, this one was. But I'm going to have to pick the Rams, because I don't feel like the Panthers will make the playoffs. So the Rams are going to be my team to make the playoffs. And I guess my bold prediction could be that the Seahawks aren't going to as well. So I think the Rams are going to replace the Seahawks in the playoff picture come the end of the season. This Rams team are just way too talented not to make the playoffs. And I feel like over the last couple of weeks they've got a few things sorted. And yeah, I mean, the acquisition of Jalen Ramsey can't be underestimated, because he is a lockdown corner, and if he's not the best cornerback in the league, he's definitely top 3. So yeah, my bold predictions for the playoffs are the Raiders to make the playoffs, which is a bit more of a bold prediction, and then the Rams to make it and the Seahawks not to. So I'm going to give my mid-season Super Bowl pick right here. At the start of the season, I said it would be the Chargers versus the Cowboys, maybe? I can't remember what I picked at the start of the season. But I'm going to go for the Packers to face the Colts in the Super Bowl. I feel like these two teams are ready-made. Everything's looking good this year. They pass in the eye test to me, and they got two great units on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. So yeah, that's the end of the video. If you have enjoyed this video, if you can leave a like and subscribe, that would be awesome. Leave me a comment if I've been a bit stupid here, picking the Colts and the Chiefs to be currently the best two teams in the AFC. Am I stupid for leaving the Patriots out? Let me know. Who's been your surprise team this season, and who do you think's the worst team in the league? Because for me, it definitely is that Cincinnati Bengals team. I'll be looking to get a Browns vs Broncos preview out. A bit stuck for time at the moment. Looking at moving a house and stuff like that. But you don't need to know about any of that. So yeah, I'll try and get that one out. If not, I will be back on Monday with the review of the game. So if I don't see you guys before the weekend's games, I hope everyone enjoys them. And I'll see you next week. Peace out.